Hello, my name is Chris Parham, and this is my project, You Are Here Now, for the Dynamic Media Institute at Mass College of Art and Design for fall of 2021. And my project deals with the idea of, the very first idea that I came up with actually was empathy for people who have COVID-19. And I wanted to show those slides to show basically my thinking that led up to my actual design, my actual project. But again, I would like to start off with my very first idea, which deals with empathy around the world for people who have COVID-19. And this is this, for instance, this is the page that starts off with, at the top, are words for "you are here now" in different languages right up here. That means "you are here now" in different languages. And right here means basically sympathy in different languages. So for sympathy, sympathie in the Haitian Creole language, and also in this language as well, Spanish and Russian and so on. And what I tried to do basically with this idea was I was trying to get across the idea of, since COVID-19 is a worldwide disease, worldwide pandemic, I felt it was very important for me to get the idea across that people who, for instance, want to get information in Arabic or want to get information in Russian, they would be able to click these buttons and go directly to those specific pages that deal specifically with COVID-19. And my thing is too, what I wanted to do as well is, for instance, with these symbols at the bottom, these symbols are basically symbols of empathy around the world, worldwide, worldwide symbols. And these are pages, YouTube videos that deal specifically with the whole idea of COVID-19 and what's going on with it. And again, these are also the same thing that's happening at the bottom. And also, this is the Student Remote Learning Sentiment Survey, which deals with, of course, with everything being remote. Students want to get a person going on this page would be able to go take the survey online. And the same thing with event registration, where the person would be able to book an event or something like that dealing with COVID-19. And this is the page that's in Haitian Creole, for instance, of a woman getting the vaccine. And the purpose of, again, my project was the whole idea of how do we show empathy for people who have COVID-19, resisting the vaccine or not resisting the vaccine. And so, for instance, this is in Haitian Creole, "You are here now." And so, for instance, we have a group of Haitian Americans who are talking about Haiti and what's going on and about the vaccine and outreach, so on and so forth, for Haitian Americans. And this is sympathie, which is empathy in Haitian Creole. And again, what's going on here too as well is that the students, or excuse me, people would be doing an empathy map. So they can get across or get an idea of what is it like for people who have COVID-19 and putting yourself in their shoes. And also we have YouTube videos as well down here at the bottom that people can just click on and go directly to. And we also have a survey here as well dealing with COVID-19 and how people are treated at the job and so on. And again, we have what happens with these symbols, as an example, is that the symbols go directly to one of the pages that has empathy in whatever language that is. And this is "You Are Here Now" in Spanish. And this is the same thing here, where we basically, to your right, we have a vaccine rollout to find out what's going on in countries like Mexico and Honduras and Colombia and El Salvador. To find out, like, what is how are they reaching out to people, especially the indigenous groups of people who live in places like the Amazon and Brazil and so on, and how are they reaching out to those people for them to get vaccines and shots. And here we have empathy in Spanish. And again, we're looking at vaccinations to your left and the empathy map to your right. And this was just an idea that I really tried to narrow this idea down in terms of I had to make it a little bit more personal in terms of me saying it sounds easy to kind of reach out and say, okay, what's everyone around the world doing concerning sympathy for people who have COVID-19? But also what is the how do the countries who how do they operate in terms of their morals and so on and so forth? How do they actually reach out to people to make them understand that this is really important? And for instance, this is the number of vaccinations that are happening right now in certain Central American countries. So it's one of those things where I'm really trying to get across the idea that this is a worldwide pandemic, but how are people being treated with empathy, if they are being treated with empathy at all? And so this kind of led me to my final idea with my project when I said it was personal. My scenario for this project, for my new idea, that is this one that you're looking at right now, is called Joyce's Choices. And my scenario goes like this. Joyce is a single mother with two children living in Boston who got laid off from her job at a home health aide as a home health aide. She's already vaccinated, but she's having trouble getting by basically. And also she has COVID-19 anxiety as well. So what she does is that she goes to her local community center and she looks for jobs and so on and so forth. But right now, we're primarily dealing with her anxiety, how she's coping with it, how she is also doing things concerning her children when it comes to remote learning, when it comes to them having their mental health being okay as well. So this project that I decided that I settled on deals specifically with Joyce's choices when it comes to her mental health. Because again, she has COVID-19 anxiety and she's looking for work, but she doesn't want to necessarily go back out to be a home health aide because she's afraid of what's going on in terms of the big outbreaks that were happening in the nursing homes at the beginning of this outbreak. So this is Joyce here, for instance, where she's basically saying, I've never been more afraid of anything until COVID showed up, and that is why I'm job searching, and because I'm afraid of catching it. And understandably so, considering she has kids. And what we have here at the bottom is that we have a job search resume, rental assistance that she needs, remote learning resources, and also food bank resources, because with this pandemic being what it is, everyone is food insecurity is big, especially among people of color and especially among Black women. So this project really deals with the anxiety felt by Black women, not only dealing with COVID-19, but everything else that came before COVID-19 that made COVID-19 just as worse as it is now. So she signed up for a survey for COVID-19 anxiety, and she's also going to be seeing a therapist as well. And the survey is like basic questions talking about, a user would be able to click on, circle no or yes. Um, and, simple questions dealing with, have you felt nervous and anxious, and have you ever felt lonely? Have you ever felt overwhelmed lately? And truthfully speaking, she's clearly overwhelmed because of the work that she has to do to keep her mental health, but also she's vaccinated, you know what I mean? And again, she wants a job. Her mental health is like the primary reasoning for this change in my project, because it's a personal thing in terms of seeing that Black women who are predominantly the heads of households, the stress that they deal with on a daily basis, especially dealing with something like this, and then the vaccine hesitancy that's big in the Black community as well. And also, what she's doing is it's very important for her to reach out and speak to a psychiatrist, because that's always been kind of looked down on in the Black community for some reason. But this app is able. She can set up an appointment, as you can see right here with the radio button, and also she has these other resources down here as well. So the primary goal of my project is Joyce's choices, which deal with her mental health and um, COVID-19 anxiety that she's felt since the pandemic started and when she got laid off. She got laid off, as a matter of fact, as soon as it started, pretty much. So she's at that point right now where she's just trying to get herself together, focusing on her mental health, focusing on her well-being, and especially with her children too, because with them being in remote learning, she has to stay at home, and that's a problem for her because she has to work. But at the same time, she also wants to get a job that's not in the health industry because she's so afraid of catching COVID. So that's one of the reasons why she's doing what she's doing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is my presentation. You are here now. Joyce is here now. Thank you very much.